Be honest. When was the last time you went a full hour without checking your phone, switching tabs, or getting distracted by something small and meaningless? We live in a world where attention is the most valuable currency, and we're going bankrupt every day. Notifications, endless scrolling, constant multitasking. They've trained your brain to crave chaos. You feel busy, but not productive. Active, but not effective. Connected, but never truly present. Here's the truth. You don't need more time. You need more focus. The people who achieve extraordinary results, the geniuses of our generation, aren't superhuman. They've simply mastered one thing: the ability to give undivided attention to one task at a time. In this audiobook, you'll discover how to retrain your mind for laser-like focus, stop drowning in distractions, and unlock the mental clarity that separates the top 1% from everyone else. This isn't about working harder, it's about working deeper. Let's begin your journey toward mastering the ultimate superpower of the modern world: the power to focus. Chapter 1. Reclaiming your mind. The myth of multitasking. If you believe multitasking makes you productive, think again. Every time you switch from one task to another, replying to messages while working, checking emails mid-focus, glancing at notifications, your brain burns energy, loses momentum, and starts from zero again. It's called attention residue, and it's the silent killer of modern productivity. The human brain isn't designed to juggle multiple cognitive tasks at once. It pretends it can, but what's actually happening is rapid task switching. You're fragmenting your attention into pieces, so small that deep work becomes impossible. The more you multitask, the more you train your mind to be distracted. You weaken the mental muscle that allows for true concentration. Think about it. Every time you give in to an impulse, to check your phone, glance at social media, or open a new tab, you're teaching your brain that distraction equals reward. You're programming it to chase novelty instead of progress. But here's the empowering truth. Focus is a skill, and skills can be rebuilt. The first step is awareness, catching yourself in the act of splitting attention. Notice how often you start something, pause, jump to something else, and return hours later wondering where the time went. That's not bad time management. It's fractured attention management. Now imagine this instead. You sit down, pick one single task, silence everything else, and dive deep. 10 minutes in, your mind quiet. 30 minutes later, you're in full flow. Your brain is aligned, your energy is centered, and the work feels effortless. That's the zone. And it's not rare or mystical. It's a trained state of focus anyone can achieve. The geniuses we admire, from Steve Jobs to Elon Musk, from artists to world-class athletes, all share one thing in common. They know how to go all in on one thing at a time. Jobs was famous for saying focus is about saying no. No to noise. No to distraction. No to the illusion of doing it all. If you want to become exceptional, you must first stop dividing your power. Your brain has immense capacity, but it needs direction, not chaos. Start small. Eliminate all other inputs. Phone, messages, background noise. Commit fully. When the timer ends, rest, then repeat. This is how you retrain your brain to concentrate again. You'll be surprised how quickly your focus strengthens. At first, it feels uncomfortable, like holding a mental plank, but with practice, you build endurance. Each session reinforces your ability to enter deep work faster and stay there longer. Remember, every time you resist distraction, you're not just completing a task, you're reclaiming control over your mind. And that control is the foundation of every genius mind. Chapter 2. Building deep focus habits. Training your brain to stay locked in. Focus isn't something you find, it's something you build. You don't wake up one day with unshakable concentration or monk-like discipline. It's a skill you sculpt, moment by moment through repetition and awareness. The same way an athlete trains their muscles, you must train your mind to endure stillness, resist distraction, and thrive in deep work. In this chapter, we'll break down how to build deep focus habits, not quick productivity hacks, but real mental systems that rewire your brain for clarity and high performance. The habit loop that shapes your focus. Every behavior you repeat creates a feedback loop in your brain. When you get distracted, say checking your phone mid-task, you trigger a reward cycle. The brain receives a tiny hit of dopamine, reinforcing the habit. Over time, distraction becomes automatic. But here's the good news. You can flip that loop in your favor. Start by building habits that reward focus instead of distraction. For example, before you begin a task, set a clear goal. I'll write for 30 minutes without checking anything. After completion, reward yourself. Stand up, stretch, walk, or check your messages only after the deep work session. This reprograms your brain to associate discipline with reward, not interruption. Small consistent wins accumulate into massive transformation. The key is not intensity, but consistency. 5 minutes of focused work every day builds more mental strength than an hour of distracted effort. Yes, the power of environment, designing focus around you. Focus doesn't just live in your mind. It's shaped by your surrounding. Your environment either fuels your clarity or drains it. The clutter on your desk, the noise in your room, even the colors on your screen. They all send signals to your brain. A chaotic space tells your mind to multitask. A clean one whispers calm, direction, intent. Design your space to reduce friction. Declutter your desk. Every item you see should serve a purpose. Eliminate visual distractions. Close unused tabs. Clear your digital workspace. Set the scene for focus. Light a candle. Play ambient music. Or use noise-canceling headphones. Anything that cues your brain. It's time to work. Think of your workspace as a trigger. Each time you sit there, your brain should shift into focus mode automatically. Like muscle memory, just like an athlete walks into the gym and feels ready to lift, you should walk into your workspace and feel ready to think deeply. That 3. The focus ritual. Building a consistent routine. Geniuses and high performers all have one thing in common. Rituals are not routines. They're sacred patterns that align your body and mind before entering flow. They tell your brain, now it's time to perform. Your ritual doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be consistent. Here's an example. Sit down. Take 3 deep breaths. Write your single focus goal for this session. Set a timer. Say 40 minutes. Begin no music, no notifications. No hesitation. Repeat this every day. Over time, your brain will start associating this ritual with concentration. It's like pressing focus mode inside your mind. The more consistent your ritual, the easier it becomes to drop into flow. The mind loves patterns, so give it one that serves your growth. 4. Guarding your energy, not just your time. Here's the truth most productivity gurus forget. You don't run out of time. You run out of energy. You can have 10 free hours in a day and still accomplish nothing if your energy is scattered or low. Focus thrives on mental energy, not clock hours. To sustain high levels of concentration, manage your energy cycles like a professional athlete. Work in bursts. 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. Never push to exhaustion. Fuel your body. Stay hydrated. Eat clean. And move regularly. Sleep deeply. Focus is impossible when your brain is fogged by fatigue. Take strategic breaks. Step outside. Breathe fresh air. Let your eyes rest from screen. Your brain consumes around 20% of your total energy, even though it's only 2% of your body weight. That's how hungry focus really is. The secret: protect your energy like a resource. Because it is when your energy is aligned, when your mind is rested, hydrated, and calm, your focus becomes unstoppable. 5. The art of mental reset. Recovering fast from distraction. No one is perfect. Even the most disciplined minds get distracted. The difference between amateurs and professionals isn't that pros never lose focus. It's that they recover from distraction instantly. The moment you catch your mind wandering, don't judge yourself. Don't say, "I messed up again." Instead, simply acknowledge it. "I'm distracted." Then gently bring your attention back to the task. That single act of redirection is focus training. Every time you bring your attention back, you strengthen your mental control, just like returning to form in a workout. Think of focus like meditation in motion. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness and redirection. Over time, this builds resilience. You'll notice distractions losing their power. The urge to check, scroll, or multitask weakens. Your brain learns to stay home, anchored to the task in front of you. Deep focus practice. The golden hour. Now let's talk about implementation. Every day, dedicate 1 golden hour to your most important task. 1 hour of pure single tasking. During this hour, silence all notifications. Turn your phone on airplane mode. Close unnecessary tabs. That's SOS. Focus on one mission. At first, your mind will rebel. It'll beg for distraction. That's natural. You're rewiring neural pathways that have been hijacked by constant stimulation. But once you push through the resistance, you'll feel something incredible. Mental silence. That's where creativity lives. That's where genius lives. Your golden hour becomes sacred, a daily appointment with your highest potential. Becoming the master of your focus. Here's the ultimate truth. Distraction isn't your destiny. It's a learned behavior. And anything learned can be unlearned. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're reshaping your identity. You're no longer a victim of your environment. You're the architect of your mind. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming intentional. When you control your attention, you control your world. And that, truly, is what separates those who dream from those who do. Chapter 3. The Science of Flow. Entering peak focus states on demand. There are rare moments in life when everything feels effortless. You lose track of time. Every movement, every thought feels automatic, precise and powerful. Writers describe it as being possessed by the story. Athletes call it the zone. Scientists call it flow state, the highest form of human focus. In this chapter, we'll break down the science, psychology, and daily practice behind flow, so you can intentionally enter that state more often and stay there longer. Because flow isn't random. It's trained. On understanding flow, the state of effortless mastery. Flow is not mystical. It's biological. When you enter flow, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for self-criticism and overthinking, temporarily shuts down. This is called transient hypofrontality. It's why you stop doubting yourself, why time seems to dissolve, and why you can perform tasks at your absolute peak. During flow, your brain releases a chemical symphony. Dopamine, which sharpens focus and motivation. Norepinephrine, which heightens alertness and energy. Anandamide, which enhances lateral thinking and creativity. Endorphins, which make effort feel pleasurable instead of painful. Serotonin, which helps you feel calm and fulfilled afterward. These chemicals don't just make you feel good. They make you perform like a genius. Neuroscientists have found that flow can increase productivity by up to 500%, creativity by 400%. So the goal isn't to force focus. It's to build conditions where flow can emerge naturally. Do. The 4 flow triggers you must master. There are specific triggers that open the door to flow. Once you know them, you can engineer your work and habits to fall into that state more easily. Clear goals. You can't enter flow without clarity. The brain needs a single, unambiguous target, something specific enough to give direction, but flexible enough to allow creativity. Don't say I'll work on my business, say I'll write the outline for my product pitch in the next 40 minutes. Clarity focuses your mental lens. It tells your subconscious, this matters now. Do. Immediate feedback. Flow thrives on instant feedback. When you can see the results of your effort in real time, your brain adjusts and refines performance automatically. That's why musicians, gamers and athletes fall into flow so easily. They constantly receive feedback from their environment. You can replicate that by breaking your work into short cycles of output and reflection. 3. The challenge, skill ratio. Flow lives in the sweet spot between boredom and anxiety. If a task is too easy, your mind drifts. If it's too hard, you panic. But when difficulty perfectly matches your skill level, just slightly stretching your limits, your attention locks in. This is where the magic happens. You feel the tension, but you love it, because it demands your full potential. 4. Deep focus. No distractions. Flow can't survive in chaos. Every notification, every mental interruption resets your attention and kicks you out of the zone. So before entering deep work, build your flow fortress. Silence your phone. Close your apps and make your workspace sacred. Remember, distractions are not harmless. They are flow killers. The 5 stages of flow. Flow isn't a single moment. It's a cycle. It has 5 distinct stages that your mind moves through, whether you're writing, coding, training, or creating. Stage 1. Struggle. Every flow begins with friction. You feel tension, frustration, even resistance. Your mind wrestles with the task, trying to piece things together. Most people quit here, thinking they're not good enough. But this discomfort is essential. It primes your brain for the next stage. Stage 2. Release. You stop forcing it. You relax your grip. You take a short break, breathe or shift attention slightly. This activates your subconscious, allowing deeper processing to take over. Stage 3. Flow. The gates open. You lose self-consciousness. You're fully immersed. You feel pulled by the work, not pushed. Ideas flow naturally. Actions align effortlessly. And everything feels right. Stage 4. Recovery. After intense focus, your brain needs rest. It replenishes neurotransmitters and rebuilds energy. This is when reflection and integration happen. If you skip recovery, burnout creeps in, and the next flow session becomes harder. Stage 5. Reflection. You review your progress, extract insights and celebrate growth. This stage strengthens the link between effort and reward, signaling to your brain, this state is valuable, let's do it again. Understanding these stages helps you trust the process. When struggle hits, you won't panic. You'll recognize it as part of the flow cycle. 4. How to train yourself into flow daily. Flow isn't reserved for artists or athletes. You can experience it in everyday life. Working, studying, even cleaning your house. If you design your focus intentionally, here's a daily flow routine you can use. Phone off. Tabs closed. No multitasking. Set a challenge level. Push yourself slightly beyond comfort. but stay within your skill range. Same start routine every day. Coffee, music, breathing, whatever tells your brain we're entering the zone. End with reflection. Note what went well, what distracted you, and how you felt in flow. This builds awareness loops, the foundation for consistency. After a few weeks of practice, your brain begins to crave flow. It becomes your default operating mode, not an accident but a lifestyle. 4. The neuroscience of flow and productivity. Here's where it gets fascinating. During flow, your brain's beta waves, linked to active thinking, slow down to alpha and theta waves, similar to deep meditation and REM sleep. That's why you feel both calm and laser sharp at the same time. In this state, the brain forms connections at lightning speed. Your intuition sharpens. You make creative leaps that normally take hours of analysis. This is why high performers, from elite entrepreneurs to Navy SEALs, use flow as a weapon. It's the state of optimal human function. And the more often you enter it, the stronger your brain becomes at doing so. Neural pathways are like muscles. Repetition makes them automatic. 6. Flow is the antidote to modern chaos. In today's world, distraction has become a drug. Notifications, feeds, endless noise, all fighting for your attention. Flow is your rebellion. It's choosing silence over stimulation. It's choosing depth over dopamine. When you enter flow, you're not escaping reality. You're mastering it. You become present again. You reclaim control of the one resource modern society is stealing from you, your attention. And in that presence, you rediscover something powerful. Peace. Because true peace doesn't come from relaxation. It comes from engagement, from being completely absorbed in what you love doing. 7. Living in flow. The genius mindset. Imagine if you could live your life as one continuous flow cycle. Working, creating, learning, resting, all in harmony. No burnout, no chaos, just rhythm. That's the genius mindset. Not about IQ or talent, but sustained focus and mental alignment. When you live this way, you stop chasing motivation. You stop fighting procrastination. You start trusting your process. You realize that focus isn't a cage. It's freedom. Because when your mind is locked in, you're not escaping life. You're fully living it. Chapter 4. Rewiring distraction. How to take back control of your attention. We live in an age where attention is the new currency. Everything around you, every app, every platform, every alert is designed with one goal: to hijack your focus. You're not fighting laziness anymore. You're fighting an entire trillion-dollar industry built to distract you. Every ping releases dopamine. Every scroll rewards you for staying hooked. And every interruption weakens your brain's ability to focus deeply. But here's the truth. Your mind is trainable. You can rewire it for clarity, control, and calm. You can escape digital hypnosis and build an environment where focus flourishes. This chapter will show you how to take back your mental territory, one habit, one boundary, one thought at a time. The hidden cost of distraction. Each time you shift your attention from one task to another, your brain pays a toll. It's called attention residue, a leftover trace of thought from the previous task that clings to your mind. Even if you switch back, your focus is fractured. Research shows it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain full concentration after a single distraction. Now imagine doing that 100 times a day. That's not just lost productivity, that's lost potential. Distraction doesn't just steal your time, it steals your depth. It keeps your mind operating at surface level, always jumping, never diving. And over time that rewires your brain to expect constant stimulation. You become uncomfortable with silence, allergic to stillness, and addicted to noise. But the mind that cannot be still cannot be brilliant. Genius lives in depth, not in motion. 2. The biology of focus and distraction. Your focus isn't just mental, it's chemical. When you give attention to something meaningful, your brain releases dopamine and acetylcholine, two key neurotransmitters that lock you into engagement. But when you're constantly switching tasks, your brain never fully releases either one. It lives in a chemical limbo, overstimulated yet underproductive. That's why endless scrolling leaves you tired but unsatisfied. Your brain gets the illusion of novelty, but not the fulfillment of progress. The fix isn't to quit technology, it's to control the dosage. Just like sugar, distraction in moderation is harmless. But unchecked, it rewires your entire reward system, reprogramming your digital environment. The easiest way to control your focus is not by trying harder, it's by removing temptation. Your brain is not built for willpower battles. 20. Here's how to build an environment where distraction cannot win. Till notifications. Ruthlessly. Every notification is a small theft. Turn off all non-essential alerts, permanently. No pings, no badges, no "you might like this." Reorganize your home screen. Put creative or productive apps on the first page. Hide addictive ones in folders or delete them completely. Use physical boundaries. When working deeply, keep your phone out of reach or in another room. Distance breaks dopamine loops. Adopt a digital sunset. After a certain hour, no screens. Let your mind detox from stimulation, so your focus resets for tomorrow. Replace the scroll with stillness. Meditation, journaling, or quiet thinking isn't just nice, it's mental strength training. Stillness teaches your brain that focus is safe again. These changes might seem small, but together, they shift your entire mental architecture. You move from being reactive to intentional, from distracted to directed. The myth of multitasking. You've heard it before. Multitasking is a lie. But here's the deeper truth. Multitasking doesn't just reduce performance, it damages the circuits responsible for focus. Studies from Stanford and MIT show that chronic multitaskers have shorter attention spans, lower memory recall, reduced cognitive control, slower switching speed. You're not doing more. When you multitask, you're doing less with more stress. The brain can only focus on one conscious task at a time. Everything else is rapid context switching. And context switching drains mental energy faster than physical exertion. So here's the rule of mental mastery. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing alone. One task, one focus, one full mind. That's the single tasking philosophy, the foundation of every high performer's success. 5. Building the focus habit. You can't just decide to focus. You have to train it. Focus is a muscle. It strengthens with deliberate use, and like any muscle, it needs structured reps. Here's a system that works. You start small. Commit to 20 minutes of undistracted deep work. No phone. No noise. Increase gradually. Once it feels comfortable, stretch it to 40, then 60, then 90 minutes. Anchor it. Do it at the same time every day. This consistency tells your brain, this is focus time. Track progress. Each session, note how long you stayed in flow. Small wins keep motivation alive. Over time, your brain starts craving these deep sessions. It remembers the reward of clarity, the satisfaction of being absorbed in something meaningful. Soon, you'll reach a point where distraction feels unnatural. That's the switch, from scattered to centered. The emotional side of focus. Here's what most productivity systems ignore. Distraction often isn't a discipline problem, it's an emotional escape. We check our phones not because we're curious, but because we're anxious. We scroll not to connect, but to avoid discomfort. Your mind runs from silence, because silence confronts you with your own thoughts. But here's the paradox. Those thoughts are your greatest teachers. The moment you stop escaping discomfort and start sitting with it, that's when mental toughness begins. Every urge resisted strengthens your willpower. Every moment of stillness sharpens your awareness. Discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the doorway to growth. And focus is the art of walking through that door, again and again. 7. The 3-hour rule for peak mental energy. The human brain has roughly 3 to 4 hours of true peak focus per day. That's it. After that, attention fatigues and creativity fades. Your job isn't to work more hours, it's to protect those golden hours. Here's how. Morning, afternoon or night. Everyone's different. Guard it fiercely. Schedule your most important task during that window. No meetings, no social media, no noise. Defend it like sacred time. Treat it as an appointment with your future self. When you operate this way, you'll accomplish in 3 hours what most people can't in 12. Because it's not about how long you work, it's about how deeply you work. The focus feedback loop. Every time you complete a focused session, your brain gets a dopamine hit. Not from novelty, but from progress. That's the purest form of motivation. The secret is to make the loop visible. Keep a focus log. Track how many sessions you complete per week. Watch your streak grow. That small feedback mechanism builds momentum. Momentum builds mastery. And mastery builds mental confidence. When you know you can control your attention, you stop fearing distraction. You no longer chase motivation. You become it. Focus is freedom. At the end of the day, this isn't about productivity hacks. It's about freedom. Because when you can control your attention, you can control your reality. You stop being a passenger in your own mind. You start driving it. You choose what deserves your energy. You decide what deserves your time. And when you do, your focus stops being fragile. It becomes ferocious. That's the quiet power of the single-tasking mind. A mind that's not pulled by noise, but anchored in purpose. A mind that no longer chases clarity. It creates it. Chapter 5. Designing your focus system. Building habits for peak mental performance. Success doesn't come from bursts of focus. It comes from systems that make focus inevitable. The most productive people in the world don't rely on motivation. They design environments, rituals and habits that make high performance automatic. Motivation fades. Discipline gets tired. But systems sustain you even when your energy doesn't. This chapter will walk you through a step-by-step blueprint to build a focus operating system. A mental infrastructure that keeps you locked in, sharp and clear, no matter what chaos surrounds you. The foundation. Identity before action. Before building any habit, you must anchor it to identity. Habits that last are born from who you believe you are, not what you want to do. Instead of saying, I need to focus more, say I am a focused person. I train my mind, like a craft. You're not fighting distraction. You're becoming someone who doesn't entertain it. Every habit of deep work starts from this mental reframe. When your identity aligns with your actions, consistency becomes natural. Write this somewhere, you'll see it daily. My mind is my advantage. My attention is my power. Every time you remind yourself of this truth, you strengthen the identity that drives focus effortlessly. 2. The architecture of deep work. Cal Newport once said, focus is the new IQ, and deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task, is the new superpower of the modern economy. To build your focus system, start by designing rituals that make deep work non-negotiable. The deep work session. Structure your focus time, like this. Block 90 minutes for undistracted work. Set an intention before starting. I will finish at. I'll just try to work. Use one tool only. No multitasking. End with a short reflection. Write what worked and what didn't. This simple ritual creates consistency and teaches your brain that deep work, safety and satisfaction. The transition ritual. The biggest enemy of focus isn't starting, it's switching. After a deep session, don't rush into another task. Pause, breathe, move, reset. This transition ritual keeps your mental circuits from burning out and helps you regain control between tasks of a focus system. Your focus system should operate on 3 interconnected layers. Layer 1. Environment design. If your environment requires constant willpower, it's a broken system. Make your surroundings do the work for you. Use light intentionally. Bright light during work hours, warm light during rest. Have a physical cue that says focus mode, headphones, a candle, a closed door. Designate a single space for deep work, no mixing it with entertainment zones. Your brain learns through context. When you repeatedly work in the same focused space, entering it automatically triggers concentration. Layer 2. Routine design. Build a rhythm that respects your mental energy curve. The first 30 minutes after waking shape your focus tone for the day. Midday. Block your 3 and 4 peak focus hours. These are sacred. Protect them like gold. Evening. Reflect and release. Review what went well, note what didn't, and shut down mentally. Routine creates predictability, and predictability breeds peace. Peace is the soil where focus thrives. Layer 3. Mindset design. This is the invisible engine of your focus system. Because even with the best environment and habits, your thoughts can still sabotage your flow. Here's what to internalize. Decompress over perfection. Focus isn't flawless, it's flexible. Rest is part of the process. A tired brain is a distracted brain. Distraction is a signal, not a failure. It tells you your energy or clarity is low. Adjust, don't quit. A calm, self-aware mindset is your strongest focus enhancer. 4. The power of pre-commitment. If you want to stay consistent, you must eliminate the need to decide every day. Decision fatigue is the silent killer of consistency. Pre-commit to your deep work schedule the night before. Lay out your notebook, close your tabs, and know exactly what you'll start with. When you wake up, you're not negotiating, you're executing. Here's a simple script to use before sleep. Tomorrow, at 9 a.m. I start my deep work block. My focus is on finishing the client proposal. I will not check my phone until the session ends. That single statement saves you hours of wasted mental energy. Pre-commitment turns focus from a choice into a default. The focus compass. 4 daily anchors. To keep your system balanced, center it around these 4 anchors each day. Decouplability. Know exactly what matters most today. Energy. Protect your sleep, food and movement. Focus needs fuel. Rest is strategic recovery. Reflection. Track your wins and losses. Awareness refines mastery. When you hit all 4, your mind stays in rhythm. Alert, calm, and sharp. 6. The reset ritual. Recover fast. Refocus faster. Even with the best system, you'll get distracted. That's normal. What separates focused minds from scattered ones is how quickly they recover. Here's a 90-second reset ritual that rewires your brain mid-session. Decompress. Stop typing or scrolling. Breathe deeply. 4 seconds in. 6 seconds out. Acknowledge the distraction. I got pulled away, but I'm back now. Decompress. Refocus on your next micro goal. Next, I'll finish this section. This short reset acts like a mental bookmark. Instead of spiraling into distraction, You simply return home to focus. 7. Designing for flow. The flow state, that magical zone where time disappears and work feels effortless, isn't random. It's designed. Here's how to engineer it. Tika Bros. Set clear goals for every session. Unclear tasks. Unclear focus. Match difficulty to skill. Too easy, you get bored. Too hard, you get anxious. The sweet spot between the two is flow. Tika Broen. Eliminate 8 internal input. Notifications. Noise, even background music with lyrics. Gone. Track micro progress. Tiny wins fuel momentum, which fuels deeper immersion. When you stack these factors, flow becomes a regular experience, not a rare one. Tika Bro. The science of mental energy cycles. Your brain doesn't operate at a constant performance level. It follows ultradian rhythms, natural 90-minute cycles of energy and recovery. Here's how to align with them. Tika Bro. Work deeply for 90 minutes. Rest intentionally for 15 to 20 minutes. Walk, stretch, breathe or hydrate. Repeat up to 3 cycles per day. This system keeps your mental energy fresh and prevents burnout. Instead of pushing harder, you're working smarter with biology. Tika Bros. 9. When focus meets purpose. No system will save you if you're focusing on the wrong thing. True focus is not about intensity. It's about direction. When your work aligns with a deep sense of purpose, focus becomes natural. You stop chasing productivity and start chasing meaning. You stop needing motivation because the work itself gives you energy. Ask yourself daily, Tika Bros. Is what I'm focusing on today moving me toward who I want to become? That single question keeps your attention aligned with intention. The infinite game of focus. Focus isn't something you master once, it's a lifelong practice. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days your mind will scatter like confetti. That's normal. The key is consistency, not perfection. Every time you bring your attention back even after distraction, you're training your brain. Each return builds strength. Each repetition builds mastery. Focus isn't rigid, it's resilient. And resilience, not raw intelligence, is what creates lifelong success. In the end, the most powerful system isn't the one that keeps you working all the time. It's the one that helps you focus when it matters most. That's how you outthink, outwork, and outperform. Quietly, steadily, relentlessly. That's how you focus like a genius. Chapter 6. The Mental Armor. Protecting your focus from stress, doubt and overwhelm. Focus doesn't get destroyed by distractions alone. It's not just your phone, your notifications or your environment. Often your biggest enemy hides within your mind in the quiet moments of anxiety, comparison, and self-doubt. You can have the perfect system, the cleanest desk and the best intentions, but if your mind is under siege, your focus collapses. This chapter is about building mental armor, a psychological fortress that shields your attention from emotional storms, negativity, and stress. 1. The silent enemies of focus. Before you can protect your mind, you must recognize what attacks it daily. There are 3 primary enemies of sustained concentration. Emotional noise. This is the clutter of your thoughts. Worry, guilt, overthinking, fear of failure. It's when your mind replays old mistakes or imagines future disasters. You're sitting at your desk trying to focus on a task, but your mental bandwidth is consumed by invisible noise. You're not distracted by what's on your screen. You're distracted by what's in your mind. B. Mental fatigue. This comes from overconsumption and overstimulation. Scrolling endlessly, multitasking and reacting to every notification trains your brain to crave constant novelty. It destroys your capacity for sustained focus because your mind forgets how to be still. Self-doubt and comparison. The voice that says I'm not good enough or they're doing better than me. Comparison drains your focus faster than anything else. Instead of channeling energy toward progress, you burn it in self-criticism. To master focus, you must silence this internal noise, not by fighting it, but by transcending it. 2. The power of internal stillness. The rarest skill in the modern world isn't intelligence, it's stillness. A still mind can see clearly, choose wisely, and act powerfully. When your internal world is calm, focus comes naturally. You stop reacting. You start responding. Here's how to cultivate that stillness every day. Morning silence ritual. Before reaching for your phone, spend 10 minutes with no input, no music, no scrolling, no messages, just you, your breath, and the present moment. At first, your mind will rebel. It will scream for stimulation. But stay patient. Within days you'll feel something rare. Quiet strength. You'll notice that silence sharpens awareness. When you finally sit down to work, your thoughts feel clearer, your focus deeper, your energy steadier. Evening reflection ritual. Before sleeping, review your day in calm detachment. Ask yourself 3 questions. What will I adjust tomorrow? This 5-minute ritual transforms mistakes into lessons, and lessons into progress. Reflection keeps your emotional world clean. A clutter-free mind is a focused mind, turning stress into fuel. Stress isn't always the enemy. Your relationship with stress determines whether it breaks you or builds you. High achievers don't eliminate stress, they channel it. They convert pressure into focus, tension into drive, and uncertainty into growth. Here's how to do the same. Step 1. Label. Don't resist. When stress hits, don't suppress it or panic. Name it. This is pressure. This is fear. Or this is uncertainty. By labeling your emotion, you activate your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, and weaken the amygdala's grip, the emotional response center. You move from reacting to responding. Step 2. Redirect the energy. Stress is pure energy. Don't waste it. Use it. Transform that surge into focused effort. Tell yourself, this pressure means I care. Let's channel it into action. This reframing turns stress into fuel, not fire. Step 3. Breathe with intention. The fastest way to regain control of your mind is through your breath. Try this technique. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Repeat 5 times. This slows your heart rate, clears mental fog, and resets your nervous system. Within a minute, your brain returns to focus mode. The inner critic. Reprogramming self-doubt. The most dangerous distractions come from within. The inner critic that whispers, "You're behind. You'll fail again. You're not disciplined enough." This voice steals your focus before you even start. Here's the truth. Everyone has that voice. The difference is that focused people don't obey it. They retrain it. A. Detach from the thought. When the inner critic speaks, don't fight it. Simply recognize it. That's just a thought, not a fact. By observing it, you weaken its control. The goal isn't to silence your mind. It's to stop believing every thought it creates. Replace with power statements. Train your mind with new scripts. Every session of focus makes me stronger. These affirmations aren't empty. They're psychological rewiring tools. Repeated often, they shift your identity from doubt to dominion. Rehearse success emotionally. Visualize yourself in full focus, calm, confident, executing flawlessly. Feel it as if it's happening now. Your brain doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. It builds patterns from what you repeatedly feel. When you rehearse emotional success, your nervous system learns to stay calm under real pressure. The energy-focus connection. Your mental clarity is directly tied to your physical energy. When your body is sluggish, your brain is foggy. You can't think sharply if your energy is low. To protect your focus, you must protect your biology. A. Movement. Move every 60-90 minutes. Stretch. Walk. Breathe deeply. Movement flushes cortisol, increases blood flow, and keeps your brain oxygenated. Better nutrition. Feed your brain, not your craving. High sugar foods spike energy, then crash focus. Favor foods rich in omega-3s, proteins and slow carbs. Think water, nuts, fruits, greens and steady meals, not stimulants. Sleep. A tired brain cannot concentrate, no matter how motivated you are. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of high-quality rest. Before bed, disconnect from screens for 30 minutes, and lower lights to trigger melatonin. Sleep is not time lost. It's focus gained. Emotional minimalism. The secret weapon. Most people overthink everything. The past, the future, what others think, what they should have done. This emotional clutter drains mental bandwidth. Adopt emotional minimalism. The art of caring deeply about fewer things. You don't need to respond to every message. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You don't need to fix every problem right now. Focus on what you can control. Your actions, your attention, your effort. Everything else is noise. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Emotional minimalism isn't detachment. It's discipline of emotion. It's choosing peace over chaos, clarity over clutter. 7. Guarding focus in the modern world. We live in a battlefield of attention. Every app, video and notification is engineered to hijack your dopamine. If you don't guard your focus, someone else will monetize it. To build unshakable mental armor, you must become intentional about what enters your consciousness, and follow noise. If it doesn't educate, inspire or uplift, it's a mental pollutant. Schedule dopamine. Don't chase instant hits all day. Earn your rewards through deep work first. Have digital Sabbath. 1 day a week. Unplug completely. Let your brain reset. Remember, your attention is the most valuable currency in existence. Spend it wisely, and you'll buy yourself freedom. Projects will fail. People will disappoint you. Results will take longer than you hoped. But the goal isn't to avoid storms. It's to become stormproof. Resilience is built through small recoveries. Each time you refocus after chaos, your mental armor thickens. Accept discomfort. Don't flee from it. Use it. Discomfort means you're expanding capacity. But see setbacks as training. Every time something distracts or derails you, it's an opportunity to train recovery speed. Ask, how fast can I return to clarity? Remember the long game. Focus mastery isn't about winning a single day. It's about staying consistent for years. The mind that learns to endure boredom, frustration and slow progress becomes unstoppable. Not the calm within the chaos. The ultimate level of focus isn't intensity, it's serenity. It's the ability to stay calm in motion, centered amid noise, and present amid pressure. When you reach that level, focus stops being effortful. It becomes who you are. A quiet, grounded force, moving steadily toward excellence. You'll notice it in small ways. Your reactions slow down. Your thoughts sharpen. Your confidence grows. You'll stop needing motivation because your state of being becomes your advantage. Mental armor in practice. Let's summarize your tools. Your daily armor. Mental threat protection strategy. Emotional noise. Morning and evening silence ritual. Stress. Label. Breathe. Redirect. Self-doubt. Detach. Reframe. Visualize fatigue. Move. Sleep. intelligently overstimulation, digital boundaries and dopamine control, comparison, focus on your lane, chaos, calm response training. These aren't hacks, they're weapons. Every time you practice them, you reinforce your inner fortress. Your focus becomes bulletproof, not because the world slows down, but because your mind stops reacting. Final thought, the warrior of stillness. True mastery is quiet. It's not about intensity, but consistency. Not about shouting your goals, but guarding your attention until they're achieved. You don't fight distractions anymore. You rise above them. You become the calm eye within the storm. Grounded, centered and unshakable. That's what it means to wear mental armor. That's what it means to focus like a genius. Chapter 7. The Deep Work Habit. Entering the zone on command. Imagine being able to switch your brain into focus mode at will. No struggle, no procrastination, no endless distraction. Just pure, undisturbed deep work. This chapter is about building that ability, not by accident or mood, but by habit. 1. The myth of motivation. Most people wait for motivation to focus, and that's why they never get anything truly meaningful done. Motivation is like the weather. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. The secret of high performers is that they don't wait for motivation. They rely on systems. They create environments, triggers, and habits that make focus the default state, not a rare event. 2. The focus ritual. Every focused mind has a ritual before entering the zone. It's not about candles or meditation, though those help. It's about signaling your brain that it's time to dive in. Here's how to build one. Day A. Set a clear intention. Write down exactly what you're working on, and for how long. Eliminate digital noise, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and put your phone in another room. Start with a cue, a sound, a breathing pattern, or even sitting in a specific spot can train your brain to switch to focus mode instantly. Over time, your brain will recognize the ritual as a focus switch, a cue that tells your mind, now we work deeply. The science of flow. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called it flow, the mental state where time disappears, distractions vanish, and your performance peaks. You reach flow when 3 conditions meet. Okay. The challenge matches your skill level. The goal is clear. Feedback is immediate. When you work on something slightly above your comfort zone, your brain locks in. That's why shallow work, like checking email, never brings flow. It's too easy. Push yourself just a little beyond easy, and your focus becomes natural. The distraction detox. Distractions are not just external, they're internal habits. You check your phone not because you need to, but because your brain seeks novelty. Each notification gives a tiny hit of dopamine. To detox from distraction, you must starve it. Day A. Start with 30-minute no distraction blocks, then extend gradually. Replace quick dopamine scrolling alerts with delayed dopamine, the satisfaction of completing a hard task. Journal your urges. When you feel the itch to check your phone, note the time and situation. Awareness weakens the habit. After a week of intentional detox, you'll feel your attention span stretch like a muscle that's finally being drained again. 5. The one thing rule. Multitasking is the enemy of mastery. The top 1% of thinkers and creators practice single tasking, the art of doing one thing extremely well. Ask yourself daily, what's the one task that if I complete it today, will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Focus on that. Guard it. Treat it as sacred. Once it's done, then you can deal with the rest. 6. Building the deep work muscle. Like fitness, focus grows with consistent reps. Try this progression. By the end of a month, you'll notice something powerful. Tasks that once took hours will take half the time, and your clarity will double. 7. Protecting the zone. Once you're in the zone, defend it. Let nothing pull you out unnecessarily. Silence messages, hang a do not disturb note, or even wear noise-canceling headphones. Your deep work hours are sacred. They're the hours that change your life trajectory. Key takeaway: discipline creates freedom, and focus creates mastery. When you master the ability to enter deep work on command, you gain the ultimate advantage, the power to produce results that others can't even imitate. Chapter 8. Mental clarity in a distracted world. Reclaiming your inner stillness. In an age of noise, clarity is your superpower. Every day, your attention is under attack, from notifications, conversations, deadlines, and the endless scroll of information that never stops. Most people don't realize how much this chaos guides them. It's not just time. It's their peace of mind, their creativity, and their ability to think deeply. This chapter is about taking that power back. It's about training your mind to stay clear, even when the world is chaotic, so you can make sharper decisions, feel calmer, and live with purpose. 1. The hidden cost of mental clutter. Your mind is like a computer. Every open tab drains your processing power. Each worry, task, or notification becomes a mental tab that stays open until you close it consciously. That's why most people feel tired even when they haven't done much. They're running too many background programs. Mental clutter shows up as constant overthinking, decision fatigue, difficulty sleeping, procrastination masked as planning. When your brain is overloaded, it can't focus on what matters. The solution isn't to work harder, it's to clear space for focus to thrive. Decluttering your mind. You don't get clarity by adding more information. You get it by removing what doesn't serve you. Here's how to declutter mentally every day. The morning brain dump. Before you start your day, spend 5 minutes writing everything that's on your mind. Tasks, worries, reminders. Don't organize it yet. Just get it out of your head. Prioritize ruthlessly. Look at your list and circle the top 3 items that actually move your life forward. Everything else, defer, delegate, or delete. C. The no space rule. For every new commitment you take on, something else must go. This keeps your mental load light and your focus sharp. Afraid. The power of silence. Silence isn't emptiness, it's energy. It's the space where your brain resets and your creativity awakens. When was the last time you sat in total silence without checking your phone or thinking of what's next? Start with 5 minutes of daily silence. No music, no screens, no talking. Just sit. It will feel uncomfortable at first because silence exposes your real thoughts. But that's exactly where mental clarity begins. Soon, silence becomes a tool. You'll use it before big decisions, after stressful days, or during creative work. The clearer your mind, the faster your ideas connect. 4. The information diet. The world feeds you junk information fast, addictive, and shallow. To stay clear, you must become intentional about what you consume. Try this. Unfollow accounts that add anxiety or comparison. Replace news scrolling with reading quality books or audiobooks. Limit how many voices you allow to influence your mind each day. When your mind stops reacting to every new input, your focus deepens automatically. 5. Breathwork. The shortcut to clarity. Your breath is the bridge between chaos and calm. When you control your breathing, you control your thought. Try this quick clarity exercise. Box breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Repeat 5 times. This resets your nervous system, slows racing thoughts, and brings your attention back to the present moment. The art of doing nothing. On purpose. In productivity culture, doing nothing feels wrong. But it's essential. Your brain solves problems when you're not forcing it to. That's why breakthroughs happen in the shower, during walks or right before sleep. Give yourself scheduled nothing time. Go for a walk without headphones. Sit on your balcony without your phone. Let your thoughts breathe. Clarity doesn't come from constant effort. It comes from stillness. 7. Creating a clear environment for a clear mind. Your surroundings mirror your state of mind. A cluttered desk, messy room, or chaotic workspace can subtly drain your energy. Simplify your space. Advice. Keep only what you use daily. Add one object that inspires calm. A plant, a candle, or a quote. End each day by resetting your works. When your environment is calm, your thoughts follow. A fight. The inner reset. Every few days do a mental reset. Ask yourself, advice. What's draining me right now? What can I release, delay, or delegate? What truly matters this week? By realigning your attention regularly, you prevent chaos from building up again. Mental clarity is not a one-time fix, it's a lifestyle habit. Key takeaway. Mental clarity isn't found, it's created. It's the art of choosing what deserves your energy, and letting go of the rest. When your mind is clear, you stop reacting, and start directing. You stop living by chance, and start living by design. Chapter 9. The mental discipline of high performers. Training your mind like the elite. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's built on mental discipline, consistency, and laser focus. Every top performer, from athletes and CEOs to world-class creators, has one thing in common. They have trained their mind to stay sharp when others get distracted. In this chapter, we'll break down how high performers think, how they manage their inner world, and how you can build the same level of mental mastery that makes them unstoppable. The foundation of mental discipline. Discipline isn't about punishment or forcing yourself into endless work. It's about alignment. It's about making your thoughts, emotions, and actions serve your higher purpose, rather than your temporary feelings. High performers don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. When motivation fades, and it always does, systems keep them going. Their mindset looks like this. I don't wait to feel ready. I act first. I don't argue with the work. I show up regardless. I choose consistency over perfection. They know every decision they make today either sharpens or weakens their mind. So they choose discipline, even when it's hard. 2. Training the mind like a muscle. Your mind, just like your body, grows through resistance. Every time you push against distraction, laziness, or fear, you build mental strength. Think of mental discipline as a daily workout. When you resist the urge to check your phone, you train focus. When you start a task even when you don't feel like it, you train consistency. When you finish what you start, you train commitment. Each small act compounds. Over time it transforms your identity from someone who tries to someone who executes. They've built morning and evening routines that protect their focus and energy. A typical high-performance morning might include planning, writing top priorities for the day. Their nights too are structured to recharge the mind, reading instead of scrolling, reviewing wins, and setting intentions for tomorrow. Why this matters? When your day starts and ends with clarity, distractions lose their power. The inner war. Discipline versus emotion. Every day your disciplined self and your emotional self are at war. Your emotional self says, I don't feel like doing this. Your disciplined self answers, we do it anyway. High performers don't silence their emotions. They acknowledge them, but don't let them lead. They know emotions are fleeting, but actions are permanent. So they ask themselves, What would my future self thank me for today? And then they act, not because they feel like it, but because they've trained themselves to value progress over comfort. They've eliminating energy leaks. Mental discipline isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you avoid. High performers are ruthless about protecting their mental energy. They avoid endless arguments, toxic relationships, negative media and gossip, overcommitment to things that don't align with their goals. Every yes that doesn't serve you is an invisible leak of focus and power. To build mental discipline, you must become comfortable saying no, not from arrogance, but from clarity. The science of consistency. Discipline is not about being perfect every day. It's about showing up even when conditions aren't ideal. Psychology calls this behavioral momentum. The more consistent your actions, the easier they become. That's why small habits compound faster than big bursts of effort. Example: if you write for 10 minutes every morning, in a month you'll have a complete chapter. If you meditate for 5 minutes daily, your emotional stability skyrockets. The secret is not intensity, it's repetition. Consistency turns effort into identity. 7. The role of mental recovery. Even the most disciplined minds need recovery. High performers understand that rest is part of productivity, not a break from it. They schedule recovery with purpose. They've clocks without their phone. Time in nature, short naps or meditative breaks. Reflection days to process progress. Without mental rest, discipline turns into burnout. True discipline includes knowing when to stop. Building unshakable focus. Discipline and focus go hand in hand. Without focus, discipline scatters. Top performers use deep focus blocks, uninterrupted time where they work with zero distraction. Try this approach. Choose one main task. Work for 50 minutes with full focus. Take a 10-minute break. Repeat up to 4 cycles per day. This deep work rhythm maximizes clarity and output while keeping your energy steady. Over time, your brain learns to enter deep focus faster. That's how professionals operate at elite levels for years, without burning out. Notional discipline. The true test. Physical and mental discipline are visible, but emotional discipline is silent. It's the ability to stay calm when things go wrong. It's refusing to react in anger or fear. It's choosing patience over panic. The most successful people are not the smartest. They're the ones who stay composed under pressure. They know how to regulate emotions, so they can think clearly and act wisely. Emotional discipline comes from self-awareness, from recognizing triggers before they take control. When you master that, you become unshakable, turning discipline into identity. The final level of mental mastery is identity. You no longer try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't force yourself to take action. It's simply who you are. You no longer debate between focus and distraction. You instinctively choose the path that aligns with your purpose. When discipline becomes identity, everything else follows: productivity, confidence, clarity, and peace. Key lesson: mental discipline isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Every choice you make to focus, to act, to follow through, is a vote for the future you want. If you train your mind to obey your goals instead of your moods, you'll soon realize something powerful. You're not just disciplined, you're unstoppable. Chapter 10. Becoming a master of inner strength. Turning discipline into a lifestyle. At some point on your journey toward discipline, the pursuit itself transforms you. What once felt like effort begins to feel like flow. What once demanded willpower now feels natural. You begin to understand that real strength doesn't come from forcing yourself to do more. It comes from aligning who you are with who you want to become. This chapter is about that transformation. The shift from practicing discipline to embodying it. It's the point where your inner strength becomes your foundation, your guiding force, and your permanent advantage in life. The evolution of the disciplined mind. Discipline starts as a decision, evolves into a habit, and matures into identity. At first you fight yourself. You push past laziness, excuses, and distractions. Every task feels heavy. Every effort feels uphill. But with time something changes. You no longer waste energy convincing yourself to act. You simply act. You no longer look for shortcuts. You are the shortcut, because consistency itself becomes your competitive edge. This is when discipline becomes who you are, not just what you do. The disciplined mind is calm, steady, unshakable. It no longer reacts impulsively to failure or success. It observes, adjusts, and continues. That's the difference between those who quit and those who last. Inner strength is built, not born. Many people think inner strength is something you're born with, a personality trait, a natural resilience. But it's not. Inner strength is forged through the challenges you face and the decisions you make when nobody's watching. It's built every time you keep a promise to yourself. It's built every time you do the work, even when nobody will see it. It's built every time you take responsibility instead of finding excuses. Inner strength is the quiet voice inside that says, I will not break. It's the courage to face your flaws without judgment. It's the ability to stay grounded when life shakes everything around you. When you realize that strength is something you build, not something you're born with, you stop waiting for confidence to arrive. You start creating it. 3. The daily ritual of mastery. You don't need a massive breakthrough to change your life. You need daily consistency. Discipline lives in the small choices. Waking up early, finishing that workout, reading a few pages, saying no to distractions, choosing focus over comfort. When you repeat those choices long enough, they stack into greatness. That's how mastery happens. Not in leaps, but in layers. Every morning is an opportunity to reset and recommit. Every night is a moment to reflect and realign. The most successful people in the world are not those who work the hardest for a few days. They are those who work steadily, intentionally, every single day, because they know success doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. The power of self-trust. At the heart of inner strength is self-trust. Discipline without trust turns into pressure, but discipline with trust turns into power. Self-trust means knowing that you will do what you say you'll do. Not because you have to, but because your word matters to you. When you trust yourself, fear loses control. You no longer need external motivation or validation. You stop waiting for approval because you've already validated yourself through action. This kind of self-trust becomes your armor. You stop second-guessing. You stop hesitating. You move forward with quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, you will handle it. Turning setbacks into fuel. Every disciplined person has one thing in common. They've learned to turn pain into progress. Failure doesn't destroy them. It sharpens them. When something doesn't go as planned, they don't see it as defeat. They see it as feedback. They ask, saying, what can I learn from this? What pattern do I need to break? What truth is this moment trying to teach me? The truth is, discipline and growth thrive under pressure. Every challenge you face is an invitation to rise higher. Every disappointment is a disguised opportunity to become stronger. Pain, when used correctly, becomes your teacher, not your enemy. 6. The calm within the storm. True inner strength is quiet. It's not loud, boastful, or aggressive. It's calm, centered, and confident, even when chaos surrounds you. People who have mastered their inner world don't react emotionally to every problem. They've trained themselves to pause, breathe, and think. They don't get lost in drama or panic. This emotional composure is the mark of a truly disciplined mind. It's what separates leaders from followers, visionaries from doubters. The more control you have over your emotions, the more control you have over your reality. The connection between purpose and discipline. Without purpose, discipline feels like punishment. With purpose, it feels like power. Your purpose gives meaning to your effort. It transforms I have to into I choose. That's why every disciplined person has clarity about why they do what they do. When your why is strong, your discipline becomes effortless. You no longer fight yourself. You align yourself. To build lasting inner strength, revisit your purpose often. Ask yourself, why does this goal matter? Who am I becoming by doing this? What kind of life am I building through my daily habits? When your actions serve a higher reason, your discipline becomes your freedom, making discipline effortless. The ultimate goal is not to fight your way through life. It's to build a rhythm where discipline feels natural. How do you get there? By designing your environment to support your habits. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your standards. The more effortless you make your systems, the less energy you waste on willpower. You don't need to push yourself constantly when your surroundings pull you in the right direction. That's how high performers make discipline look easy. It's not magic, it's design. The legacy of inner strength. When you live with discipline and inner strength long enough, something beautiful happens. People begin to notice. They sense your calm energy. They trust your word. They feel your presence. You become the kind of person others look up to. Not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent. Your discipline becomes contagious. Your example becomes inspiration. And without even realizing it, you start leading by being, not by talking. This is the legacy of discipline. Not fame, not money, but influence. The quiet, powerful influence of a life lived with purpose and integrity, becoming unbreakable. The final stage of mastering your mind and discipline is becoming unbreakable. Not because you never face pain, but because you've learned to bend without breaking. You've trained your mind to adapt, your emotions to stabilize, and your focus to remain steady through uncertainty. You no longer chase motivation. You are the motivation. You no longer seek external validation. You've built it internally. You are your own anchor. You are your own source of strength. You are your own greatest asset. The final message. Discipline isn't about living a rigid life. It's about living a free one. It's the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become. The day you stop chasing comfort and start building discipline is the day you take control of your destiny. Because in the end, success isn't about luck. It's about mastery. And mastery begins in the mind.